Hello everyone, my name is Eric, and today I want to tackle a question I hear about a lot, and I hear a lot of different answers, so I'm going to give you my take. This is Oakland Tobacconist. If you're interested in several of the brands that I am speaking about today, or many other boutique, notice I said boutique, companies out there, check us out, you know where to find us. Don't forget to please comment, like, subscribe, hit that bell so that you are alerted every time we produce new content. Also follow us on all other social media platforms like Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. If you are new getting into cigars, if you're a seasoned veteran, I'm certain that a lot of us have heard different answers to the question that I'm going to pose. In fact, I'm not even going to say my explanation is like the end-all be-all answer, but it's the best that I can figure out from where I stand. And of course, I always invite you to drop down in the comments your own answer or your own opinion on this subject matter. We're talking about boutique, heritage, legacy cigar brands. And we have heard this bounced around a lot of times. What is a boutique company? What is a heritage company? What is the difference? What are the qualifying reasons of why something is boutique or something is heritage? I want to point out two things that I believe qualify a boutique brand against a heritage brand. There's a myriad of different reasons, but these two I feel like are very important and hopefully will help distinguish boutique companies and heritage companies. And hopefully it'll give a better understanding of what exactly is a boutique company. A good example to use on something like this would be West Tampa Red, produced by West Tampa Tobacco Company. The owner and blender of this cigar and the entire company is a man named Rick Rodriguez. Now, if you have not heard of this gentleman's name, you've definitely heard of the brand that he used to blend for. It was for a bigger company called CAO Cigars. And he had been the master blender for that company for a very long time. As it continued, several years ago, he decided to do his own thing, and a very interesting thing happened that not normally happens within this industry. He left CAO Cigars without having to sign a non-compete. And that means that as soon as he left, he could launch his own company. He didn't have to wait like 10 or so years before creating his own name, his own brand. And so he immediately launched into West Tampa Tobacco Company, and he blended West Tampa White, West Tampa Black, and then later West Tampa Red. Why am I bringing up West Tampa Tobacco Company? One, they're a really good cigar company. In fact, I really enjoy the flavor profiles that he produces, and if you've been a fan of CAO cigars, this is a cigar to take a look at. But I also bring it up because this is a small boutique company. It started on a smaller scale. It doesn't take much digging to find out the person behind West Tampa Tobacco, but it's definitely on a smaller size. And that's the first thing I would say is size. Does size matter? In this case, I believe it does. The size of a company can definitely dictate and sort of manipulate whether it is a boutique company or a larger company. Boutique is sort of a smaller, specialized service that is being given. But is it always specialized? And we come to qualifying reason number two. I believe there is a level of specialization that has to happen for boutique companies. For example, when the company of Foundation Cigar Company released, many of us have heard Liga Privada 9. One of the gentlemen behind that blend is Nick Melillo. He launches his company first on a cigar called Huehuense, the cigar that no one can pronounce. Huehuense is a 100% Nicaraguan puro. All the tobaccos, wrapper, binder, filler, are made from Nicaragua, manufactured. It gives the specialized experience of Nicaraguan puro, like the spirit of Nicaragua. This was like the dominating spearhead idea that Nick Melillo had in creating Huehuense. And it delivers, for those who want a Nicaraguan puro, a medium strength cigar, but full of flavor, full in body. It gives just that. Now, there's a lot of Nicaraguan puros out there. However, Foundation didn't stop at Huehuense. They also continued with things like the Tabernacle, the Wise Man. Tabernacle uses a Connecticut broadleaf. As we all know, Liga 9 is also a Connecticut broadleaf. Nick Melillo has a special sauce to be used with Connecticut broadleaf, or people like Steve Saka. Specialized ability and blending style using Connecticut broadleaf tobacco, which is represented well within their portfolio. And so that is a combination of smaller company startup or smaller company size, and then you also have a specialized service that it is delivering. That can also fall under the heading of like limited cigars, small production, and a lot of these times for smaller companies, it's either the pockets weren't big enough or the tobacco supply was not big enough for a huge line that was given. And so you see a lot of things like Cameroon wrappers or certain aged over 5 years within these boutique companies because they're not big enough for bigger companies to pick up, but they're small enough to fit just right in that boutique vicinity. Companies definitely evolve. You can start on the smaller side, but then you eventually evolve into like a bigger side. I would say Foundation Dunbarton, they're not necessarily that smaller like startup boutique company that everyone's just now hearing about. They've been around and they've created a great reputation. And so with that, you have that specialized service and that great product that is kind of moving forward from that smaller size to that more medium size. A lot of times when you find heritage brands, heritage is basically passing on to someone else. Now, this could qualify as a larger brand or a heritage brand that's been passed on. A lot of times you find owners changing, people who are blending changing. CAO Cigars is no longer blended by Rick Rodriguez, so there might be a difference in their blends going forward. Maybe, maybe not. Or even companies like Davidoff. Eladio Diaz was the blender for so long, and now he's moved on, and so Davidoff has a new blender. These heritage brands kind of get passed through by who owns the company, and they also have a larger footprint in the industry. I don't think that's a bad thing at all, but it definitely helps recognize what is this as a heritage brand. You also have families passed down from generation to generation. Padron Cigars. Everyone loves Padron Cigars, including myself. It has been passed through generations from original Jose Padron to George Padron, most of the company run by the family. So you see that heritage passing through. Companies like Room 101 or companies like Alec Bradley, who have been obtained by STG, which is a larger company known as General Cigar, they acquire other brands as well. What are your opinions on what makes a boutique brand, and are the right boutique brands specializing in those fields? I would love to know. Drop down in the comments your opinion on this subject. And as I know, there are many other qualifying aspects which we're going to get into in future videos, but these are like outlining two very important aspects of boutique and heritage brands.